Look at him. He's just dickered. Just dickered, boys. Son of a bitch.
Yo, yo. Class A, and macro. Not connected, not elected to participate. Bouncing down the stems will make your head hurt. Enjoy the takes. Says her whose head burns from hearing horror stories. Get burnt from gasoline. I won't be at the trial, I'm sorry. Wind turns when baronets and road trip buckets.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Take or Wide, the podcast where we talk about music, and I talk out of my ass half the time. Sponsors. This is brought to you by DaveLevittPhotography.ca. Go there, like it, check his page. Go to the Instagram page, like it, comment something silly, eggplants, whatever you guys want. Dave's a old friend. He's supported this from day one when no one cared, when literally no one cared, and he does good music. He does good work. He does photography. He does websites. He does promos, music videos, namely Guest of Honor by the Sabs, Thunderstatement by Gruber. He did Solitude for Fuck the Facts. And if you're around 519, which is Cambridge area, Waterloo, just get a hold of Dave. He'll take some sweet promos and photos for you guys. So DaveLevittPhotography.ca. Also brought to you by DapperBeardOil.com. Dapper Beard Oil is a beard oil company based out of Ottawa, and my friend Andrew runs it. He's doing really well with it. He's seen some press in like GQ, CBC, Huffington Post. It's 100% natural ingredients, ethically sourced. It helps hydrate. It helps repair. It's antibacterial. It reduces beard dandruff. He has three brands, three types, I guess. Gold Tusk, which is fresh, spicy, earthy. Black Tusk number 2, which is smoky, cedar, and cypress, or a scent-free if you want that. I've used it. It's good. I love the idea of supporting a friend, and you guys can support him if you go and you can use the promo code TakerWide free ship for free shipping on your beard oil. So go try it out at least. I don't know. What do you got to lose? The description is in the bio. Just hit description or whatever, however it is. I know with my iPhone, with my podcast app, I just need to click the image and it basically does this sort of summary of the episode that I write, and the link's in there. So go to dapperbeardoil.com right now, check it out, use the code TakerWide free ship for free shipping, and go support Andrew. Also brought to you by Wellington Brewery, that's based out of Guelph. It's Canada's oldest independent-owned microbrewery. They have a ton of good beers. They've been a sponsor for a fucking while now, and I've gotten drunk off their beer many times. It's good beer. All up to them. And finally, brought to you by Kevin Rigo of Hefner Toyota out in Kitchener. Kevin's an old friend of mine, and he's on board to help me with this podcast. So if you guys are interested in used new Toyotas and you're out in that area, go to Kitchener, go see Kevin at Hefner Toyota. Tell him I sent you. He'll probably have a good laugh. Like, shit, didn't think your musician friends had any fucking money. But some of you guys do. I know you guys do. So yeah, all love to Kevin, and all love to all the sponsors for helping out with the show. So 210, this is with Kyle Ball. Kyle is the singer of WAKE and also Kataplexis out of Calgary. WAKE has a new album, Misery Rites, that's out now. I think I recorded this before that it actually came out, but WAKE crush so hard. What was it, last year or so? Like, I was lucky enough to play with them, got to meet the guys, and they're just about to take off on a big tour, and the record is amazing. So this will be fun. It's going to be fun to talk to him about the process. It's a pretty personal album, and we're just going to do the thing. This is Take Her Wide 210 with Kyle Ball.
Yeah, man.
Oh God, this like, I got a new computer, so setting this up has been a huge pain in my ass. I used to know how to do it.
Like your whole podcast setup? Or?
Yeah, I got a new Mac and it's new, so like all the old plugins and shit I had don't work. So.
Oh, were you PC before that?
No, I was Mac, but it was like old. Like I was
Oh,
running
yeah.
10.68, and I guess they're at like 13 now, so I was way behind.
Oh, damn.
Dude, cheers. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man. It's a long time in the works, I guess.
Kind of, yeah. And also, like, it's exciting to talk to you on this sort of level because we only met for 10 seconds at the show and probably like in passing at shows, right? So
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
it's so not ideal to like, hey, let's talk about some cool shit, but it's, you know, like I got to go on in 10 seconds, so like quick little blurbs of it. So this will be nice,
Yeah,
man.
totally.
So yeah, you had to work, you said?
Yeah, I was working. Yeah, driving shit around Calgary, basically.
So what is that, like semis or like A's? Like I don't even know the
It's
license.
like 5 tons. We got a bunch of different vehicles. We got 5 tons and cargo vans and trailers and all that shit. It's cool. I mean, it's chill. I drive around, listen to music all day. Can't really complain about that.
Is it a gig that like they're cool with time off?
Cool, quote unquote cool.
Really? Yeah. Fuck.
Yeah, they deal with it. They let me do it. So
Have you been
that's
there for
why
a long time?
I've been with that company for like, what's that?
Oh, you were just about to answer my question. How long have you been with them?
Oh yeah, I've been with them for 7 years.
Yeah.
So
Whatever,
yeah,
man.
it's good. I mean, I put in a lot of hours at that place, so they give me the time off, but they cap it at a certain amount. They're like 5-6 weeks. That's all you get.
Which is funny because that's a lot, but for Wake, that's like not enough, right?
Well, it's weird because like, I mean, everyone thinks we're on the road all the time, but still every year it's 5-6 weeks.
Really? Yeah.
No odd weekend, but we do Canadian dates too. You know, we go to Vancouver, do Edmonton, Saskatoon, Regina.
Yeah. That's.
Sometimes Winnipeg.
Can you imagine like touring is work and this and that, but like if you didn't have a band and you just had 5 to 6 weeks off a year to do whatever?
I don't know what the hell I'd do with myself.
The fuck, eh?
I guess go on vacation. I don't even know what a vacation is. I don't think I've had one in 10 years.
Yeah, it's so the norm, I think, of I almost expect time off. Like, well, I do. And with my jobs, with the 2 I have, that was the thing. Like, well, if you want to hire me, this is part of what comes with me.
Yeah.
And it is totally the norm, but it's not the norm. Not to take 6 weeks off and go fuck off, you know?
No, I know. Like, I don't know why they deal with it, but they deal with it. So I'm not going to complain about it.
Well, you know what I think? I think there's a lot of shitty workers, and it's easier for, you know how the gig works. So for them to hire someone else and like learn to trust someone else, it's a big process. At least I've seen that at my hotel gigs. So many fucking people come and go.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I've been there and I'm like, I don't really screw around. I show up on time every day.
Yeah.
And we got such a high turnaround at our place. There's just people in and out the door all the time.
Yeah. So you're worth your weight. I think it's kind of simple. It's like, just work hard and be an asset. And, if they want to fire you, that'll totally suck. But it's like, well, you can go ahead and fire me, but I'll fucking do the work. So
exactly. It's like, I'll do it and I'll do a good job at it. So
yeah, man. So shit. So I guess is this one coming up? This tour is going to be the first run for the new record.
Yep.
Because it drops.
It will be
Friday. Well, this will be released after, but this Friday, right? It comes out.
It's the 23rd. So Friday.
I think this Friday. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this will be the first run of 6 weeks of touring, I guess, for you guys, right?
Yeah.
What else?
We got 3 weeks with Withered, and then working on some stuff for the fall, and some stuff like fest and whatnot in between.
Yeah. Do you guys do Sled Island every year?
Not every year. We did it last year. I think we're applying this year. Who knows if that'll happen? But we did last year. That was the well, I shouldn't say the first year we've done it. Wake played once without me before I was in the band.
That was just that first EP, right?
Pardon me?
You weren't you were on everything except the first EP?
Oh yeah. I was on everything except Leeches and the DeFosphorus split and their first 7 inches as well. They had another singer.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
You
actually
killed
the
him.
third singer for Wake.
That's how you got the gig. You had to fucking strangle and put him in the backyard.
yeah, totally.
This guy's so gnarly. He killed our old singer. Yeah, I saw all those dates coming up. It sucks because we have a gig somewhere else that day, so I'm not going to be able to see you guys, which sucks.
Oh no shit. I was wondering about that. Yeah.
Yeah, it would have been really rad. It was really rad playing with you guys because you guys are a band that it's weird. Like we're all in the same circle, but I never really connected with you guys. Like, like, dude, have like aside from that show, had we met and hung out at all?
No, we haven't. And it's funny because like like my friend Ted, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, like you and Ted are homies, and
Yeah, old school.
he'd always talk about you guys. I'm like, yeah, like never met the dude before.
Yeah,
But I know your brother as well, right?
Yeah,
From when
it's
he
so
was
crazy.
in tree burning and stuff. But yeah, we never really crossed paths that much.
No, which is really odd because especially in our 30s doing it, like we all, well, I'm learning this now. I know you guys a little more now, and we'll get to know each other. But
Yeah.
I guess Canada's so big that can still be the case. Like, oh, you've been doing this for 10 some years, and we've like never like had more than 5 sentences.
It's weird though. There's always like the people in bands like that. It's just you always manage to miss each other.
Yeah, no, it's totally it. So it's fucking really rad playing with you guys, man. It was, and the new record, as far as what I've heard, it's like, it's dark. It's like grind is cheesy sometimes, and I'm not a huge grind guy, but like,
Yeah.
I kind of like. It's weird. I don't want to call you guys underdogs because you're not, but in a weird way, kind of. Maybe. Do you feel like the perception you guys have, that people have on you? Am I totally wrong here? Are you guys like?
But I don't know. I don't know if I'd say we're like underdogs or what, but I don't want to say we're like heavy hitters either. Like, I don't know. I don't really know how to answer that, to be
No,
honest.
it's kind of a weird question. Like,
Um,
but yeah, the new couple tracks, it's like, yeah, dark, and I really obviously want to talk about the record, and I wanted to talk to you. Like, I don't even really know Rob, but I think Rob, maybe he's like a shy guy or something. He seems, is he a
yeah,
shy
he
guy?
can be a quiet guy sometimes.
Yeah.
Definitely, yeah.
But like the record, man, it's like a super personal record. Like
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
it's I listened to a quick little podcast you did with some guys from the States.
Oh,
Two
that
guys.
was Ill Street News.
Yeah, I think you
think.
just posted that.
Yeah.
And I don't know if like they didn't really cover things I wanted to hear about. And like in a way, I'm almost like afraid to ask questions. Like I'm not gonna like get crazy personal with you, but you put it out there.
Yeah. Some of this stuff, like I did an interview the other day, and the dude was kind of trying to dig really deep into this kind of stuff, into like the personal questions, and like I'm pretty timid about this stuff. It's kind of hard to talk about some of it.
For sure.
It's like that's why I drenched a lot of this stuff in metaphor. It's not very like, you can't be like, oh, so that's exactly what happened to him or what he was dealing with. Because, I haven't even been totally honest with, family, friends, some of my friends even about a lot of it. So,
yeah, putting a record like that out, like is, and you're not hiding the fact that it's a personal record, but like,
no, not at all.
there's like, I don't know, it's kind of bold, and it's more of a question like why be so vulnerable, and why did you choose to write like this?
Well, when we first started writing the record, we wrote 2 songs. Actually, the first 2 songs that we wrote on that record were Paradigm Lost and Rot. And both those songs didn't really fall in line with the the overall narrative that I did. And once I wrote those, I was trying to write, and I just felt really burnt out on writing social or political issue songs. I just wasn't feeling it at the moment, and I'm just getting over a whole bunch of this shit. And I was like, yeah, maybe I'll try writing a song about my stuff. I was like, why not? Never done it before. Try it out. So I did, and when I wrote that, it just kind of was like, fuck, I'm really feeling this. I think I can write the rest of the songs about this. So I kind of passed that by the guys, made sure it's you guys are cool with me doing this, because it's not very grindcore of a person to write about this kind of stuff, And they're like, yeah, totally. So we came up with the whole concept of the record, and kind of both me and the guys, we wrote around each other, kind of throwing ideas back and forth with the lyrics and the songs. And yeah, we would just write around each other.
So yeah, and That's an interesting take that it's not very grindcore to talk about like yourself. And it's kind of true though, because that's like kind of to the what I was saying about being like underdogs. Like it's grind can be silly, you know, and almost the way grind is silly. It's like fast.
Well,
and,
you know, yeah, like I'm not saying that this is every grindcore band because it's obviously not, but I mean, sometimes I just feel like people are forcing it just so they can play grindcore. You know, like do they care about the shit that they're singing about half the time? Like I'm sure most of them, like, you know, certain things, yeah, but I mean, that's where I was at, you know. I'm like, what do? Do I just force this, you know, just to do it, or do I find something that actually matters to me at this moment in time?
Did you have to like be in a certain mood when you were writing this?
Yeah, I was going through some bullshit at the time too, and anytime I wrote a song, it was not a good day. You know, it helped. But I mean, that's me in writing to begin with. Like, I don't know about you, but like, I've never written a song when, you know, life was good. I guess if that makes any sense.
No, I 100% know what you're talking about. My old band, he would not force, but he would try to write when he was in a good mood, which is an interesting exercise.
That is interesting.
Because it's kind of like...
Nothing to be angry about, you know, if I'm in a good mood.
Yeah, like if you're not thirsty, why would you drink water, you know, kind of shit.
Exactly, yeah, totally.
Yes. Did you, like, in playing the songs, because they're really personal, like, is it more, like, is it... When you're performing these live, how is it different than the old stuff you guys were playing?
I feel like I actually feel it when I sing it. You know, it's like it's a lot more real to me when we're performing. I don't know how to really explain it past that, but that makes sense, right?
Yeah, it totally makes sense. Like, yeah, it's like, so it's kind of interesting to hear that people, like, because I don't want to dig, man. Like, I'm not gonna be like, hey, explain everything, but
yeah, totally.
Is that because I've seen a lot of press that you guys have been doing? Are people like, because you put it out there? So are you kind of like shit, kind of regretting that, or like do people give you your space?
I mean, people have been pretty good about it. There's been like some people who really try to dig on it, and I'm like, I'm just not really having it. I'm not willing to put myself that much out there, you know.
Yeah.
The people who are close to me and know me, they know, and I don't really feel like I got to go too far beyond that, you know. Like, in person is one thing, but like, you know, putting it on a platform for like everybody to read or everyone to hear, it's just a little bit weird to me, you know. It's like I'm not quite ready to throw that out there yet.
Yeah, I get it. Like, I am fascinated more at the kind of courage, like, and that sounds cliche, but because you can choose to write about whatever you want, and a band can kind of form their own idea of what the next record and stuff's gonna be. But like, I don't know. Do you think, like, again, kind of to when you're playing it and people are gonna hear the record and this and that, like, do you think you went too far, or could you have gone further?
I mean, I don't think I could have really gone further, but I don't think I went too far either. You know,
it's kind of
like, I don't know. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, like, kind of safe but still honest.
Yeah, totally. But that's another thing too, you know, like when you put that much metaphor in some of these songs, you know, it makes a lot of sense to me. I don't know how much sense that's going to make to people who read them.
Word. Yeah.
But I mean, I did it in a way too where I kind of hope that people can read them and relate to them with their own problems too, I guess.
Yeah, I was talking to my buddy about just music or art or whatever, and how it's so different for every person who like it takes it in. Do you think, it's kind of a stupid question, but like, I would assume people are going to take it. I wonder if they're going to take it and be like inspired to make change, or if they'll be like sad. I guess you don't really think about that many steps ahead, right? Or...
It's tough to say because the record, it's not like, nothing on it is positive. You know, it's not like, oh, there's a positive outcome at the end of this. It's just, it's very negative. Like, the whole thing is based on cycles.
Yeah.
The whole cycle of no matter how much I try to fucking fix this shit, you know, it's like I always at some point end up right back at square one to do it all over again, kind of thing, you know. And it's like, it's just more of a self-realization than it is like, things will get better. There's a light at the end of the tunnel. It's like, nah, that shit's closed right off, man.
Was it hard to keep kind of a, because like I was reading about I read the breakdown of all the songs and to lay it out like circular and to keep that, was that hard to do or was it easy? It was just like, okay, like you kind of had to think ahead, I think, to map it out and then put the songs down, or how was that?
Well, see, that's so how I did that was we wrote the record without vocals.
Okay.
I came in with vocals. We actually went to Edmonton, and what we thought was going to be our record, we recorded it, which turned into our pre-production. And all of like my lyrics, like that, there was an idea of the layout and everything, but nothing was certain. And then once we got that back and we went through all the songs again, and that's when we really collaborated together on a lot of these ideas and forming it into this way. And with the writing for the lyrics, when I started writing, I did the first song. I was like, okay, I'm like, this is kind of like, the first song was Misery Rites, which is like kind of like an overview. And like, I was like, this was like, it really seems like the start of all this shit, like when I was writing it, like I felt like this, it really felt like the beginning of everything kind of. And I was like, I could really elaborate on all this stuff. So I just kind of I wrote basically what I figured is like one really long song split up between, I think 5 or 6 of the tracks.
Okay.
So it's all like, I guess, like different stages, or chapters, I guess. But they all fall in like a consecutive line to kind of tell a certain story.
Yeah. Well, I guess people listening, like you should go and I think Idiot EQ or IQ, Idiot IQ is the website.
Yeah. I can't remember exactly what it was, but I remember doing that.
Yeah. It was cool. It was really cool to see that. And, man, like I feel like bands do themes and sort of concepts albums and they fall on their face, but like the art itself too, who did it and how did you guys pick the final?
That was this guy Alexander Goulet. I believe he's from Montreal, but Rob hooked that up. We were going through a bunch of different artists and we got some stuff done that it's really good art, but we weren't really sold on it. It didn't really fit Wake at all. So we decided to go with somebody else, and Rob found Alexander, and he came back with that. We gave him a bunch of the lyrics, and he came back with that artwork, and we were all like, cool. Yeah, this is it.
I saw I think the pre-order LPs fucking look nice, like the splatter sort of like white.
Oh, those look so sick. Yeah.
So sweet, man. I've fixed my record player, so I'm reinvigorated to listen to records, and like it's my buddy Scott, he plays in this band Antithesis. He has a fucking crazy record collection. That's where I saw that picture. He got the
Is that Scott? We played with him in Toronto. I think.
No, I think you might be thinking Tessier.
Yeah.
Does he play bass? That you're thinking of? Yeah. No.
Yes.
Not my Scott, but the other Scott is a guitar player. But I know exactly who you're talking about. Tessier is the rad guy.
Okay. I always see that guy posting records on Facebook all the time, so I figured that might be the same dude.
The artwork itself too. It's like what comes to my mind is kind of like Romanesque, like and what I'm basically going to get to is like there was a quote I think or something you were saying about the true God is kind of within us, like we are gods. Like I kind of been thinking about that to a degree. Like I work at a church, so every now and then I'll think about like this is kind of crazy, but I think of, like where does that thinking come from for you? Like that we are like, do you mean like just we're our own masters and we can choose our own things, or like what do you kind of mean?
Yeah, I kind of like we are our own masters. We're our own gods. We are, I don't really know how to explain it beyond that.
Well, I think,
just, I don't believe in a higher power. I believe that, we are the people that we need to look to do the things that we need to do. We're in control of everything that we do. So I kind of look at it that way.
Yeah. When the other records that you've written on, like I'm late to, and I'm also terrible at like really reading all the lyrics. So
Yeah.
this one is, I guess rot. I was reading rot is kind of not. It's kind of maybe like an older style of writing that you would do, but like social.
It was,
commentary.
and that was the first song I believe I wrote lyrically after sewing. Was that song? So that one kind of fell a little bit more in line with what we were doing on sewing.
And I only asked that question about. I it's pretty self-explanatory that we are basically in charge of ourselves, and we can handle it, or not handle. We are our own quote unquote god or whatever. But with that sort of being said, like the record, and you wrote it, did it answer any questions that you had about yourself?
Sorry, Steve, I missed that last little part there.
I rant sometimes. I'm like trying to formulate my fucking questions here. But did it answer any questions that you had about yourself? Like examining it, laying it out, writing about it?
Yeah, it definitely helped me come to some realizations. You know, and it helped. It made me kind of take a step back and think like, well, maybe I should do something about this stuff, you know, and you know, not just be miserable and fall back into the same things that I always fall into, you know, that I ended up singing about. So,
well, I think, sorry to cut you off, but I think one thing that's great about it is obviously the honesty, but everybody fucking gets depressed and everybody deals with their things, whatever level it might be. And the guys, like when you opened up that door of like, let's kind of talk about this, do you feel like they're not writing the lyrics, but did they really be honest with you with like their sort of shortcomings or stuff like that? Like this whole exercise in writing about it, like I don't know how that worked within the band.
Yeah, I mean, not really. But you know, like it was like we all know about each other's stuff, you know, like our own personal issues and stuff like that. But it's not like it really opened up a door for them to, you know, kind of talk about it more, I guess. You know, it was definitely a door for me to open and talk about it more.
Yeah. Well, and nobody else writes lyrics, right? Like, or do they like edit
No,
your lyrics?
I'm the only one that writes lyrics.
So when you're doing, they did all the riffs and the songs first. I'm always kind of curious. I've never considered myself a singer. I sing in the band, but Mark writes all the lyrics, and like Mark kind of makes all the patterns. How do you do your patterns over the songs? Is it literally like, are you just screaming them and demoing that, or like how do you?
Yeah, like we jam, and sometimes I'll just like do improv shit when they like write a new song. I'll just kind of scream over it, get a feel for it. But what I like to do and what we do mostly is we demo it. Like we record it with our friend Ryan, who's playing bass. He demoed a bunch of new stuff that we're already writing, but like we got a pretty decent recording of it. I had that, and I just listen to it over and over while I work. And I come up with patterns, and then I figure out whatever I'm going to sing about, and then I write I don't know, a few paragraphs of whatever, and then just kind of match words to the patterns that I have in my head and make it one cohesive song.
Do you do lots of editing of the words themselves, or do you make sure everything you wrote gets put into a song?
No, I do a lot of editing. Like I'll paraphrase myself on a lot of things. Like I'll stick like 3 lines into one line kind of thing, you know. It just depends how it works out.
Are you a kind of guy that writes and writes and writes? Like, do you have a ton of other stuff that you wrote that didn't? It's just kind of like what you need to put down is down.
Yeah. I've never been a writer. The only reason I'm a singer is because when I first started like making bands and starting bands, we couldn't find a singer. Everybody played guitar, so I'm like, okay, well, I guess I'll play guitar, or I guess I'll sing. So did that, and then I was kind of forced into writing. I'd never written before. Never enjoyed writing in school. You know, when we'd have like poetry and stuff like that, I hated it. I didn't want to do any of that kind of stuff. But over the years, you know, come to really enjoy it. And even though I don't write outside of writing, you know, lyrics for songs, I do enjoy it now.
Do you have like a journal, or is it just on your phone? Or?
Got a notepad on my telephone.
Yeah. I don't use that enough.
And I've learned to email myself those songs too, because I had a shitty situation happen a little while ago. I sing for this like death grind band called Kataplexis. had our whole record written out on my phone, and then I went on like a writing spree. I wrote like 5 songs over the weekend, and I ended up selling that phone, and I transferred over all of my stuff except for those lyrics.
Fuck.
And I wiped it clean. And the second I wiped it clean, I'm like, oh fuck, all of those lyrics.
Oh no.
I lost them all. So now as soon as I finish it, I email it to myself.
Oh fuck. Well, lesson learned, man.
Yeah.
Now, if was there anything kind of specific that inspired you aside from your personal life, like a book or a movie or anything that's kind of like, I'd like to take a version of that and use it. Like, I always find inspiration interesting because it literally comes from anywhere sometimes. But was there anything like that?
Not for this one. No. I can't say that there was.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just, I like the whole concept and everything was so foreign to me as well. So I don't know. As for outside influence, there really wasn't much on this record.
Yeah. So when you're not, like, will you write kind of closer, or will you write lyrics after the songs are done? Like, as of right now, like, are you sitting on a bunch of lyrics or not? Or, like, are you kind of just...
No, Wake has, I think, like 4 new songs written, and I have one of those written right now. And I think we're taking 2. I have to finish another one before we go on tour, but we're going on tour with 2 new songs.
Oh, wow.
As well.
That's the fact that you guys did a pre-prod and then fucking played it is I'd love to do with like any of my bands is road test the songs.
Man, it made all the difference in the world.
Fuck.
Like, part of me wants people to hear the pre-production album just to hear the differences, but at the same time, I don't want them to hear the pre-production version. But because they're so different. And I mean, to be honest, the reason why we scrapped it is because I shot the bed hard on vocals. I did it, and like I heard it the next day once Buddy mixed it down a little bit. I was like, I can't put that out. I'm like, that's embarrassing. Like, I sound so fucking bad.
Really?
Yeah, and I was like, some of the words and the lyrics, I'm like, I could do way better than that. You know? And then
Well, I think that's it's good to recognize that, man. It's good to recognize that you can do better and to like push yourself and be honest with yourself. I did a music video for me and Mark, and fucking hours on it. And
was that the one you guys just put out like a month ago?
No one's seen it because it's a thing like.
Oh, okay.
I can't put this out. I can't. It's not good enough. I can do better. Which is good and healthy, right? Because I feel like if you don't do that, you're just going to continuously never get better.
Oh, absolutely. If we didn't do that, we wouldn't have put the record out that we're putting out. So
it's interesting. I want to hear that now.
Yeah.
when you're like mixing a record for your vocals, I just think I'm not like but I'm not very well versed in like studio shit. Like I go and I lay my shit down, but mixing, I'm kind of like, I don't know if I can turn that up more. But with your vocals,
totally.
do you have any sort of treatment that you like with the mix? Because it's gnarly, man. It's like
personally,
so fucking gnarly.
I mean, what Dave did on Misery Rites is pretty much exactly how I would like to sound all the time. That guy just got it. You know, there wasn't anything to be like, well, maybe more of this, less of this. He pretty much got it bang on right from the start. The only thing, I like my vocals a little bit more buried in the mix, and they're like right out there on this one, and I'm like self-conscious about it, you know. But it turned out great, and but yeah, I mean, what Dave did, that's pretty much exactly how I'd like to sound.
Yeah, it works really well. It's just like that's the thing. There's a whole vibe that the band has, which I think is hard to do. It's hard to get 4 or 5 guys all on the same sort of vibe page. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's interesting. Like, do you hang out with the guys a lot outside of the band?
Yeah, for the most part. I mean, we're all super busy. We jam twice a week, Mondays and Fridays, and then I got Kataplexis as well, so I jam with those guys twice a week. During the week, I have Tuesday, tonight. This is my one night off from practice, and then the weekends, I'm either working or playing shows or whatever. So, I mean, I hang out with them about as much as I hang out with all of my friends.
Yeah,
it's get to hang out with them twice a week. It's chill. It's cool.
I think that's healthy. Like I lived in a house with my band, and it's so unhealthy. Excuse me.
Oh yeah, I did that too. It had its fun times. It had its bad times too, for sure.
Oh God, I remember just because we would tour and then we'd come home and we would just see each other all the fucking time. And we were also young and like, this is it. This is everything. No girlfriends, no partying, no nothing. Just fucking band. And I luckily am still friends with Mark. Fuck.
Yeah, there you go. Did any of you guys work together too?
No, thank Christ. I did actually work with Mark for like a month or a couple of weeks for a little bit, but this was like well after our friendship had been tested. So what do you guys, when you're touring, this is a silly question, but what do you guys tour in? Is it just like a cargo van?
Yeah, just a cargo van. We've got like a Ford F-150 that we bought, I think 2.5 years ago.
Huh. Do they have...
And it's crammed.
Sorry. This is the...
Because we don't... Go ahead.
No, this is the problem with fucking internet and trying to do it like this. Is
that 1 second lag, yeah.
We're all trying to be polite. Okay, so you go ahead. You finish what you're saying.
I was going to say, yeah, it's crammed to that thing, man. It's, I think, a 8-seater. And then we have no trailer, so we cram all of our shit and all of our merch in that thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, if it makes you feel better, me and Mark, we toured out east in a minivan, and that's Mark's setup.
Yeah, but it's 2 of you guys. That's so awesome. I wish I could do that.
You could. We're gonna start a band tonight, you and me, just vocals and drums.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Are there any like art grants out there for you guys in Calgary, in Alberta?
We've applied. I'm not sure if I'm wrong about this. I don't think we've gotten any though.
Yeah.
I know there's like there's like Factor and all that stuff. But surprisingly I don't know if it's the style of music or what, but we haven't had any luck with it.
Yeah, it's interesting that those even exist, but I haven't gotten it fucking twice. I got a recording grant and a touring grant, and I always thought that you had to know someone. It's kind of like, oh wow, shit, I got it. That's fucked.
Yeah.
It fucking helps.
Yeah,
man.
who knows? I mean, we usually apply for them every year, so maybe this year we'll get one. It would be nice. I mean,
fuck, man, no kidding.
I'd like to catch a little bit of a break. It would be good.
Yeah. It's interesting you say that, because like I was gonna start talking about translation lost, and like we've both been doing it enough that like that's a great thing for sure, 100% that you guys are on translation lost, but that doesn't really mean like big time. It just means like, oh, we have friends helping us out. And yeah, to catch some sort of break with a grant would be like kind of like, we made it. It's like it fucking totally helps.
I mean, it would be good. Some of those grants, man, I remember like growing up, well, not growing up, but even like 10, 15 years ago in Edmonton. And there was a lot of those like Edmonton kind of like emo core kind of bands that were getting like $10,000 grants to shoot a music video kind of thing. Yeah. And it seemed like they were passing them out. I'm like, man, I want 10 grand.
No kidding.
Shoot a video or, go record a record or something, something.
The thing that burns my ass about that is some bands get it, but they break up like a year later. It's like,
yeah,
we will use this and we won't break up. Like, don't give it to these kids.
Yeah, give it to the band who's been a band for 3 years,
Should be some sort of minimum.
It's like, I think Wake, like we're going on a decade now. I think almost 10 years.
Fuck, eh?
Yeah, I've been with the band since 2012. Actually, I think the end of 2011.
Okay.
But they've been a band since I think 2008 or 2009.
Do you like? Well, I'm sure you enjoy it. Well, no, I'm not sure. I know you enjoy it, but it's really crazy to get older doing this, because I feel like the ceiling we've seen it. The ceiling of success. Like, what's your take on playing this type of stuff? Like, are you 83? Are you born 83?
Yeah, 83.
Same, brother.
Same with you, hey?
Yeah. How do you feel like turning 35 this year, still doing it?
I mean, part of me thinks like, why didn't I stay in school and do something with my life? But at the same time, I mean, since I was a kid, this is all I wanted to do was play music. The whole thing just like, and I loved it. I fell in love with it. And it's like, I'm 34 now, still doing it. I'll probably be 44. I might not be touring all the time, but I'll still be doing it, this or another type of aggressive music. It's just another outlet of stuff that I love. Mm-hmm. So to think that like, oh, I'll reach a certain age and stop. Like, I don't think that's actually going to happen.
It probably would have happened by now, right?
Yeah, I think so. If it was going to happen, it definitely would have happened by now.
Here's the thing I think about, because I had a real tough time transitioning really from a band touring guy to like home life, because I have a kid now and I'm married and got a
Yeah.
house, and that was hard. It was fucking super hard. But
Yeah, well, like, what's real life like?
yeah, it's nice. It's nice. It's
Yeah.
nice when it's nice. When it's not, it's not. But um, I think about how music is a huge part of my identity, like a huge part. Like I spent such a long time in that box of music, and it's like,
Well, I mean, you've been probably doing this for the same amount of time as me.
Totally,
You
man.
know, since you were like, what, 13, 14 years
Yeah.
old?
Yeah, for real. And I worry about
Yeah.
like it's so much of my identity, but then what happens if that disappears? Do you think about that?
Yeah, totally. I totally do. It's like if I didn't have this, like, what would I do? You know, like what you know, I mean, I would still probably go to shows, but I mean, all of my friends, you know, I know all of my friends from playing in bands. All of my friends play in bands. You know, it's this is who I am. I don't know another life. You know, to stop doing that, like, I don't know, man. I don't know how I'd even deal with that.
I know. Well, I worry because like I guess I could still be creative, but like I'm a drummer, so if I hurt my arm, break my hand, or chop my arm off or something, like fuck,
Yeah.
like I don't know how motivated I would be to try to one-handed blast or whatever. You know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah.
it's kind of scary. But do you feel like, man? I feel like we're successful in that we're still doing it and not really losing our shirts. We live, we have homes, we have
Oh yeah.
a version of normal life, and
Yeah.
still able to do it. Like me and Mark, the two piece, like we jam, we play, we can make a little bit of cash, and I'm still not making money, but man, like my 13-year-old self would be stoked. Like, do you think about that? How, like, do you think about it? Like, wow.
Oh, absolutely. If 13-year-old me knew that I was putting like records out, that would be enough for him to shit his pants, you know? Not to mention, you know, playing shows with your heroes, you know,
fuck, eh?
and stuff like that, you know, like, I don't know, man, just, you know, that whole thing when I was a kid, just seeing people in magazines, you know, it just blew me away. I thought it was so fucking cool.
Yeah.
You know, and the next thing you know, you know, not in Wake, but my other band, you know, we played with Napalm Death and hung out with those dudes all night, you know, and like, those guys are a huge influence, you know, to think about that. And like, yeah, 13-year-old me would have died, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, I talk about it, but I want my son to find something like this, to experience shit with people. It's like, it's a struggle in a way, especially when you actually take it serious. How many fucking bands, and I hate shitting on bands like this, but there's an easy way to be in a band. You just be in a band and you don't really go out and lose.
Yeah.
Lose money.
And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, do your shit on the weekends, you know, you guys want to, you know, play some DIY shows on the weekend, do whatever, cool, you know.
But there's such a fucking kindred spirit in someone who has eaten shit the same way
Yes.
you have.
Who constantly does it for years and years and years before they catch one bite of something, you know.
Yeah. Some morsel of actual I don't know, financial success or something. I'm curious to
Something that isn't shit.
yeah, anything else. Piss. I'll take piss. Just no more shit. When you were a kid, man, because you know, if you would have quit, you would have quit by now. When you were young, was it like a friend got you into music? Was it like your parents? Was it like how did you get interested in it?
Well, music was my parents. Like my first memory of music was road trips with my parents, you know, listening to stuff like Aerosmith, you know, all that like classic rock kind of shit. And then after that, my friend Chris, he got me into Nirvana and gangster rap. It was it was Nirvana, Tupac, and Biggie. That was like our shit. And then I met this girl. Her name was Rajan. Went to school with her. Her older brother Braden, who you might know, Braden DeCorby, who plays in like Osk, Hagatha,
No, I don't think maybe to see
No,
his
you
face.
don't, eh?
I'm fucking really bad with
Yeah.
names.
Anyways, he lived in Fort Nelson. That's where I grew up, Fort Nelson, BC.
Oh, okay.
And that was Ray Jan's older brother. He had a band called Neckbeard, which also had
Oh shit, I
Brett
played
from
with
Masquerade.
Neckbeard. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I know those guys.
yeah.
Okay.
So I was like 12 years old, man, and she's like, "You got to come over to my garage and see my brother's band." Went over there, and they're like playing this like power violence grind shit, stuff I've never even fucking heard before, like blew my fucking mind. And that's pretty much how that all started. And then around that same time, we started getting into, like Sepultura, Pantera and stuff like that. So that's when like my love of music and really set in. That's when I was like, that's what I want to do.
Fuck, eh? So crazy how
Yeah.
it catches. Like I had something similar where I was doing a paper route, and I grew up in a small rinky-dink town like west of Thunder Bay, like 1,000 people, and probably like 800 when I was growing up. And there was one band, some cool kids, and they were jamming in their garage. They're just like a grunge band. But just that, I was like, I didn't know that people could do that, right? It's like, oh, these fucking chumps from this shitty town can be in a band? I could fucking do that.
I can do that. Yeah.
I'm a chump from a small town. I can do this. So I love thinking back to like how powerful that shit was, because we're fucking still doing it. We could have stopped at any time.
Yeah, I wish I could relive that moment, when you first find that stuff and you're like, yep, that's it right there. Like that's the shit.
Yeah. Yeah. I just hope Tay, my son, finds something. I don't give a fuck what it is. Something that catches him like that.
Hell yeah.
Do you remember your first
when
gig?
I was a kid, it was either going to be music or it was going to be skateboarding, and it sure as fuck wasn't going to end up being skateboarding.
Yeah, well, they're both probably just as hard on your fucking body.
Yeah, you're not wrong about that.
We won't be too much longer. I don't want to keep you that much longer. I just have a couple more things. Do you remember your first gig? Like your first, be it a cover band?
As Wake, or my first gig ever as a band? Oh yeah, I remember it. We first started playing in bands. I moved away from Fort Nelson, moved to Fort St. John, made friends with all the skater kids. Everyone's into skate punk and punk rock and all that shit. So we all started punk cover bands, and we would, there was two groups of, we were all the same groups of friends, but there was two bands that, we'd all learn these different covers, and we'd rent out a local hall. And we'd play all these songs for our, 15-year-old friends to show up, get drunk, and trash the bathrooms, because that was the thing to do to every local hall that you'd rent. And I remember the very first one. I can't remember what the place was called, but yeah, it was just punk cover bands and a shit ton of friends showing up and getting hammered.
Fuck. Do you? So were you singing back then too? No,
I was actually playing guitar back then.
Oh, okay. Do you remember the songs you guys were covering? Because we're the same age, so if you're doing punk, like
oh man,
Green
it
Day,
was
guess,
stuff like it was all over the place. Like we were doing stuff like Screeching Weasels, Gob, Dayglow Abortions, what else? Guttermouth, Minor Threat. It was like we didn't even know what straight edge was back then. We're covering Minor Threat and everyone's getting wasted. Like nobody cared.
Fuck man, I remember because partially how I don't even where is that where you grew up? Like how far from like
Fort Nelson? Okay. Do you know where Grand Prairie is?
That's north, right?
Yeah. So if you go to Edmonton, you go north to Grand Prairie. You go north past the border into BC, and then Fort Nelson, where I grew up, is about 6 hours north of that. So it's like on its way to like Whitehorse kind of thing.
Where is it in relation to Prince George?
It's 5 hours away from Prince George. I think maybe like northwest of Prince George.
It's crazy how music reaches those fucking places. Even for me, my little rinky-dink town, like,
oh yeah,
it's like how am I hearing about these bands? And I'm not a cool kid. I didn't listen to cool, like I wasn't listening to Minor Threat. I was listening to
Fort St. John, that was different though, because that was like Napster days, like you could actually go on the internet and search that kind of stuff out. Before that, man, it was just like, those Neckbeard guys showed me stuff. Like I remember like Charles Bronson, Spaz, and the Descendants, stuff like that. They showed me that, and that broadened it. But it was Much Loud too. That's where a lot of the metal stuff came from. It was Much Loud.
Fuck,
seeing that, and then the magazines we'd steal from the Overweighty Foods.
Fuck, what'd you get? Like Circus or Hit Parader? Or I don't even know.
Hit Parader, Circus, yeah.
Yeah.
What was the other one? Metal something. I can't remember what it was.
It would be funny if you
Metal
were just,
Maniacs or something like that.
if you were oblivious to the fact that some kid bought a Hit Parader, but you were like in there, and he's got you guys like all over his wall.
That'd be sick.
That'd be crazy, eh?
Then you know you really made it.
Yeah, for real. This we just did a gig, and this little 14-year-old kid showed up with a tape player that is like, it's something that we would use 10 years ago, but he was like, look at this ancient technology, and it was one of those mini DV tapes, and he's like,
yeah, okay, yeah.
I'm gonna film it, it's fucking gonna be sweet. Like, oh man, that's so sick. A couple more things here, man. Are you still doing the SNHK? Were you part of that?
SNHK, yeah. I make the beats for SNHK.
Okay.
And then, Ted, he does the MCing.
Okay, that's awesome.
We're still
man.
doing that. I mean, it's been a slow process. My computer died forever ago, and I just, getting it fixed is a pain in the ass. So I just got it back up and running. I'm using a lot of different equipment, so I'm still getting used to it, but it's an alive project. It's just kind of very slow moving at the moment.
Did you do the music on that new video that he released?
No, that was Dirt Now.
Oh, that was his
solo
own stuff. Okay. Yeah, man. Yeah, Teddy, we go back to when playing Thunder Bay, like leaving high school, driving 4 hours, play the gig, drive back, go back to school the next day. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It man, it's great too to just see. I have talented friends, and it's mostly, I think, because like anything, you do it long enough, you get fucking better at it. So.
Oh, for sure.
Like all my buddies at this point, like, are all fucking great musicians. So Teddy's one of those guys, man. Really fucking talented, super talented cat.
Really good, man. Yeah. I was just hanging out with him on the weekend here. Yeah, he was living out in Okotoks. It's like 20 minutes, half an hour outside of Calgary.
Okay.
And he just finally moved back to the city, and he's like, I need to get in a band. I'm like, yep, you got to do that, because that guy's like wasted talent being in Calgary, not being in a band.
Dude, that faceless Hulk shit was so great.
It was awesome. Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah, fuck. Yeah, Teddy, I should actually get a hold of him. I saw him last time we were in Edmonton, I think. We went out for beers and
yeah, he was telling me about that. Yeah,
just fucking rad guy. So, but the record, last couple questions about this, and I'll let you be. It's on Translation Lost. Now, how does that work? They pressed the record and you guys paid for the production of it, or?
Yeah, well, the way that whole thing came about is we put on our Facebook that we were going to record with Dave, and Drew, who runs Translation Lost. He's seen that, and he hit us up, and he's like, "Shit, you guys are recording with Dave. I want to hear it when you guys are done." So we did that, and he heard the record, he loved it, and he just threw it out there. He's like, "Yeah, I'd love to put this out." So they do the pressing and all that, and our PR, and they've been nothing but amazing to us. The shit, like, they've helped our band reach so many different avenues that I didn't think we would ever reach,
like Revolver and stuff
awesome.
like that, or
what's that?
We're in that weird delay.
Oh yeah.
I was saying like the Revolver and I guess Invisible Oranges and stuff like that.
Yeah, stuff like that. Like, I never thought Revolver would ever touch anything I've ever done.
I'm kind of surprised too. Yeah, I just feel like they're like a Velvet Revolver type magazine.
Straight up. Totally. It's funny you say that, because I'm pretty sure I seen a post by them today that was Velvet Revolver or something like that.
Who's their PR guys? Who do they use? Is it just like in-house, I guess? Or?
It's in-house, yeah.
That's fucking great. I think a label like that's perfect for... It's not massive, but it's big enough to give you guys the push you need,
Yeah.
without being crazy indebted to them.
Yeah, and like the product that they're putting out, like that, the records look sick, and like when I first heard of Translation Lost, I went and checked out some of their back catalog, but like every record these guys put out looked fucking amazing. Like every single record. Like, but it's like they're all insane, like just colors layered upon colors. It's awesome.
Oh, hell yeah, man.
I'm kind of a nerd though. I like that kind of shit, like I do like my rare black vinyls too, but
no, man, it's like you guys put a lot of effort into making something great, and on his end, that little bit of extra effort to make it look great, like, I don't know, it's just,
hell yeah,
it makes it that much more fucking better, man. It's like,
Yeah.
Nobody has to care about our bands, but when people do and actually care and like do work
Yeah,
for
when
your
they
band,
like truly care and they're not just blowing smoke up your ass, you know? Yeah, it's awesome.
it's a good fuel to like, okay, let's just keep riding this wave until it crashes, and then hopefully another wave comes. Oh man, let me just kind of close this off. Sort of, I do this thing called the Hibzine, which is I'll play some music. So I wanted to put numbers, if that's cool.
Okay. Yeah, that's cool.
I'll do it after the fact because I have to edit it because it's a little bit Mickey Mouse over here. But this is Embers from Wake. You guys fucking go get that record. You can get it, I know, on their Bandcamp, but probably Translation Lost has a direct link as well. I'll put all the links in the fucking description.
Yeah.
But this is Embers by Wake. That was Embers by Wake. Well, this is coming out next week, so by the time this is out, the record's out. So fucking people listening, go fucking grab the record. Don't be a chump. Oh, sorry. Excuse me, but fuck, man, I don't know. Nothing really else that I really wanted to scratch on. Like, you know, we could keep.
Yeah, it was cool. We
shit.
covered a lot of shit though. It was good to talk finally.
No, I know, man. It's like I really just respect what you did, man. To be
Thanks, dude.
bold like
Appreciate that.
Like it's
Thank you.
scary, but like, you know, hopefully the record does well. You guys finally blow up. Cover of Hit Parader. That's what I'm aiming for.
Fuck yeah.
Until you get that, I'll just consider you guys chumps.
Yeah. You're not far off, man.
All right, let me close this off really quick and then just I'll let you bounce here. But this is well, I can just let you go, actually, man. I can close this off afterwards. Kyle,
right,
man,
right on,
thank
man.
you, dude. Thank you for fucking doing this. I appreciate it a lot, man.
Oh yeah, man. See, it was great chatting, man.
Yeah.
It's too bad I don't get to see you when we
know.
come through on tour.
I know, I'm choking.
But,
I might just cancel that gig.
Yeah. Well, are you guys heading up north anytime, or heading, I guess, west?
Maybe the Sabs later this year, but I don't really
Okay.
think me and Mark have plans. But I don't. We'll see. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe we'll
Well,
see
we'll
you
keep
guys.
in touch, man. You know, if I'm out that way, I'll let you know. Vice
Yeah.
versa.
Please do, man, and send my love to the guys. And yeah, I don't know, man. Just thanks, Kyle. Thank you.
Oh yeah. All right, cool, man. I'll talk to you later.
Yeah, be safe, man.
Peace.
Peace. All right, cool. I think that's the first time I've fucking done that, where I ended the conversation like this. But yeah, just there's obviously like some real heavy stuff in that record, And I really fucking mean it when I say it's bold to put yourself out there, even if it is in metaphor. But please, if you guys are listening, grab that fucking record. Looks great, sounds great. If you've never heard of Wake, get on board. This is a great opportunity to. Let me just close this off then. Shit, I'm by myself. This is Take Her Wide, guys. 210 with Kyle. Episodes were brought to you. This one was brought to you by DaveLevittPhotography.ca. DapperBeardOil.com. Use promo code Take Her Wide free ship for your free shipping. Wellington Brewery for the beers, and Kevin Rigo at Hefner Toyota. If you guys are looking for a new vehicle and you're out this way, go talk to Kev. Instagram page is. Do I need to say this? Like, do I need to say the links? If you guys are listening, you probably are hip to it. But if this is your first time, there is an Instagram page. Go to Take Her Wide Podcast or whatever, Instagram.com/Take Her Wide Podcast. That's for that. Posting old episodes on there. And if you can rate, review, I see some of that coming up. That's fucking great. And it's exciting. I'm really fucking getting really amped on this. It's fun, and I appreciate the listeners all the time. Thank you guys so much. Here I am rambling again. Fuck, I'm gonna end it. It's 210 with Kyle. Take Her Wide. Fucking smoke weed and be safe. All right, love you guys. Peace.